Well, that flag flying through downtown Lexington is the Juneteenth flag. It's full of symbols meant to represent the holiday. The flag was created in 1997 by activist Ben Haith. He's the founder of the National Juneteenth Celebration Foundation. Illustrator Lisa Jean Graff also worked on it, and Haith gave CNN a breakdown of what the symbols on it mean. That white star has two meanings. It represents Texas. It was in Galveston in 1865, where Union soldiers informed the country's last remaining enslaved people that they were free. It also represents the freedom of African Americans in all 50 states. The bursting nova around that star represents a new beginning. And the curve that extends across the flag is meant to look like a new horizon that represents the opportunities and promise that lay ahead for Black Americans. And those colors, red, white, and blue, represents the American flag, a reminder that people who were enslaved and their descendants were and are Americans. Well, some versions also include the date of the first Juneteenth, June 19, 1865. If you have a good question, you just email us. Good question, WKYT.com. I'll see you WKYT Mornings.